And we're live. Ooh, oops. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I was nice. Okay, hold on. Ooh. I am sitting on something that can fall, which is not always great. Ooh. Good morning, guys. It's a Sunday morning, July 6th. Yes, I think it's July 6th. Very nice. We have a little bit of coffee. Oh, nothing like a Sunday morning coffee. To the people who are lying in, fantastic, do your thing. And for the one person who may be awake, who hasn't slept, good morning, how you doing? This whole thing about waking up on a Sunday, ooh, I just like waking up on a Sunday. I don't think so I can have a lie-in anymore. I just like waking up. I think I'm not part of that lifestyle anymore. I'm part of the 3:30 a.m. club, 4 a.m. club, and I do like that. I believe that everybody in life will have different chapters. Everybody in life will have different phases. And I really feel, in my humblest opinion, you should try something new. Yes, the thing that you're doing is so much fun and so amazing. And you've been doing it for the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years. But try something new once in a while. Try something new just to change it. Like, for example, right? Shout out to Shah Rukh Khan. He's been acting for the last 30 years. I'm not telling him to become a public speaker, right? It doesn't apply on that. But I'm sure he tries new activities. He has maybe a different type of doing things. I don't know. And I feel like to make a fulfilling life, to really see what life is for, you have to experience different things to really understand what you have. That's one thing. And really maybe appreciate what you have. How do I put it, right? Like today, family is very important for me, only because I can see is that it's been disruptive for me. It's been all over the place for me. I've stayed apart from my family. Obviously, everybody has family troubles and issues. That's also there. But more sort for me personally, that it's been very heavy on the negative side. So I just wanted to have my own family, build from scratch. But that also is like not always possible. Just because you feel that you want to do something, you will be like, well, when I grow up, I will do this, and this. And I won't be like my parents, and I won't be like what I used to be when I was a child. And guess what? It's not possible. It sometimes takes much more than what we anticipate to get out of that cycle. Because think about it. People will end up either judging you, which if you ignore, like a lot of people say, don't listen to what somebody else is saying. Fair enough. But what about life itself? If somebody says, if you're trying to go for a job, and no, I'll give you the example. Pablo Escobar's son. Do you think that, what kind of life does he have now? Like if he applies to be in government, or if he applies to do some charitable work, or if he applies to do something nice, do you think it will pan out for him knowing who his father was? In a similar way, if your parents or your lineage or your families come with something really nice, then you're also given that advantage. However, when you don't come from either end of the spectrum or the extremes, like really good or really bad, somewhere in the middle you can break the curse. Somewhere in the middle you can break the curse. And what I feel is that in order to reinvent yourself, sometimes you have to forget where you're coming from. Because there will be rules and restrictions and cultural norms from where you are. And they may not be able to let you grow. They may not be able to let you do what you need to do. Or just start over. The cultural norms that are coming in play are the ones that then you have to follow those rules. But if one of the rules are broken, they don't have ways for society to fix it back. And I feel that is fair, so it keeps people in line. That is fair. If there are no consequences, there'll be no reason to follow the rules. Let me say that again. If there are no consequences, there are no reasons to follow the rules. Is there? You tell me. Is there a reason? I feel there isn't. I do like the city of Dubai, shout out to Dubai, where the fines for a dirty car or hanging clothes in the balcony, where we may think it's silly, but they do have fines, and the city is spotless and it is clean and there is decorum. And there are places now where if you steal from a local shop or grocery store below a certain amount of money, it's not worth the time for the police to come get you. So when we remove consequences and say, well, it's okay. So it's only a 500 pounds. It's only like 200 pounds. Don't worry. It's not good. No consequences. It's the same when you have a good family and the family says, well, it's okay to do this, and this because it's cool. Or let's just break the norms and do that. Because what we don't realize is when you break that norm, you cannot undo it. Once you break a family, you cannot mend it back together because it has been broken. But people don't realize that, like the sanctity of the family, the rules, the regulations, the love, the care, but also the time that you put in to build the family, that you're following a culture. Because even though man has evolved over hundreds of years, it's the last 100 years, the last 50 years that's really come into play, that's in front of us. Because you want to be part of something. It's always nice to be different, for sure. I am different, but it's nice to be different, but also have something that you belong to. But when you don't belong to something, right? And you just go from place to place to place like a musafir. That's the word. I like that word, musafir. I mean, it's like a traveler, wanderer. Maybe I'm not translating correctly, but I think that's what that means. Like what Marco Polo was. You can find a family. You can find somebody who's close to you. You can find people who matter to you. But then are they your people? Who are you? How do you define yourself? You get defined by the society you come from, the place you come from, the country, the religion, the locality. If everything about you keeps changing, then who are you? Are you the change? What it is in front of you, is that new? Is there another chapter? Well, how do you do that? How do you think about these things? And that's what confuses me. There isn't any way, whether you work hard or not, to change these things. I always separate it. Money and life is too separate. Money and life is too separate. You can be really wealthy and you can do really well. But if you have messed up your family life, to get it back, either they're coming back to you because you have money, or you don't have it and it's messed up and you're just trying to live on superficial relations. And I didn't want to live on superficial relations, and I didn't want to be fake. But it seems like there's no and it's from the previous generation. What they mess up for you, what they provide you is what you have to deal with. You cannot undo that. And that's what I meant, that you can work hard and you can try and break the curse and move forward. You can do that with money. If your father was a wealthy man, you can be a pauper. If your father was a pauper, you can absolutely be a wealthy man. Those things are too separate. Yes, they'll say like, well, if he was not too wealthy, then you couldn't get an education, then you couldn't do this, then you could. Yes, those are there. But also, you'll have the hunger to go up. You won't have the complacent nature that I'm complacent, I'm okay. So there are pros and cons, but you cannot do anything that when you come from a broken family, you cannot mend that. When you've been outcasted from your society, you cannot undo that. When the very fabric of what you have thought that you could get back into is not provided anymore, you're so far off that is it even worth talking about those things? Is it worth thinking about it? Like, do I even belong there? But then if you don't belong there, then who are you? And I think this is just a reflection of me, and sorry that I've just spoken about myself in such depth, but that's what I feel, that to go back to what I know is no longer an option. And I ask myself why, because it is true. If you break out from where you belong and you're so far out from it, then to go back makes no sense because you no longer belong in it. Like, where I was born to where I grew up to where I became mature to now where I am is all completely different. So even if I go back, how do I fit in? You have missed so many seasons, you have missed so many parties and birthdays and events, that to get back into it, it changes the whole fabric. I ran into somebody that I spent some good times with them in my 20s. And the person greeted me, we gave a hug, it was very nice, good to see, and just walked away. There was no further questions like, how are you, what are you doing, let's meet up, nothing. It was more like, okay, let's crack on. Is that how reality is? Is that how when you're so far out and you don't know? Or is it that people don't think that way? Some people may think of you fondly, they're like, well, we have to meet up. Because recently I got somebody else who got in touch with me, who I knew in my teens versus my 20s. And they were much more approachable, and they were like, oh, I struggled to find you, I had to do this and I had to do that, and I found you, very nice. And this other person, very nice person, sure, but didn't make no more effort. So where do you belong? Do you always have to restart? And if you're always restarting, then there's no answer. And that's why I feel lost. That I'm like, dude, leave this personal stuff and just crack on and make money and do those things. And if that's true, then what is life for? Is it just to leave a legacy? Because history will be erased. So then if it's going to be erased and people are going to die anyways, what outlives? Then it's only for the current moment, right? That you want somebody around you, but that will not live forever, because that has an expiry date, and that's for sure. Death and taxes are guaranteed, but legacy can live on. We still whisper Napoleon. We still talk about Caesar. This month is July. We have Julius Caesar. Yeah, July is for him. Augustus got upset. He gave himself August. Fantastic. So the fact is that maybe in the coming days, coming weeks, coming years, there may not be that need for that kind of history. So then it does come back to like, okay, enjoy the time with your friends and family now. Where do you start making friends from scratch? And then are they your friends? Should you be giving up time? I feel like I don't want to give up my time because I have so many more things to do, because I feel I've lost 10 years of my life. I'm not going to sit down and now hang out. That those times were there when you were younger. Now it's time to work. So the little bit time that you have, how are you going to make time to have deep relations with people and say, no, mate, you're my actual friend? I don't see how it is. Or you meet somebody now and you just meet them once in a while and it goes 10 years go by and like, oh yeah, I know him for 10 years. No, but do you? Do you know me for 10 years? No, you just know me because the calendar, changed every day. There's not actually no relation. If you don't have this, you don't have that, it's always a complaint in my mind. Like I feel like I don't want to complain. So then you have to let go. And if you let go, then I don't want to think about it again. It's gone. Fugazi, it's gone. Just live it. No friends, family on the side. Just do what it is. Concentrate on making money, make a legacy, and enjoy yourself. Is that what then life is? Because all that I have studied, that's not what life is. It's about the relations you have. Now, where do you get time to do that? Because at some point, I've also seen that all of a sudden money plays a big factor in the relations that are available, that you have, that you can spend time with. So then which one do you go after? And there's no balance. So first make the money and then create relations. But then are the relations true? Or are they based on money? That's why when you start life, you have to be within that system. And the people who keep restarting or who get thrown off, good luck to them who have figured it out. I wish somebody can comment below and tell me, how do I restart? How do you form bonds based purely on that? On who you are. It does become challenging. But challenge is when you know that there is a goal, when you know there is a destination, when you know that there's a summit to reach. But when there isn't one, then no matter how hard you work, somebody said the other day, and maybe I said it in another video as well, if hard work meant success, then the donkey would own the farm. Again, paraphrasing, that's really nice, it makes sense. Hard work doesn't always mean that you're going to be successful. It is complicated, isn't it? And it's not about giving up. What's the opposite of giving up? Like, I give up. Means you're letting go. But if you don't want to, but what are you fighting for? What are you trying to build? What are you trying to build? Say you have a 3-hour exam and the first 2 hours you're staring, just looking around. Will that 1 hour make a difference? No. But somebody will say, well, in 1 hour, you have full concentration and you can finish it. Fantastic, yes. But if it says that you write 50 words a minute, right? Oh no, that's too many words a minute, right? Let's say type 50 words a minute, okay? So you can type maybe 3,000 words an hour, right? But the essay has to be minimum of 5,000. Do you see the conundrum? So it's sometimes when you can realize that the impossible, based on mathematics, that it cannot be solved, then is it worth even starting? And when people say the opposite of that, then what's the point of being intelligent? What is the point of understanding that if mathematically it's not going to work out, then why try? But people say, well, try anyways. And then when you fail, they're like, oh, it didn't work out. No shit. No, obviously it was not going to work out. Why try that? And it's so frustrating. Oh, I don't know. Money is something that a lot of people struggle with. Well, actually, everybody's trying to solve for money. But what about this family? What about this life? I've never really come across those things, that people are trying to solve for life. They're always trying to solve for money. I'm happy to solve for money because you can work hard. You can make investments. You can take big risks. And then when it comes to money, hard work does pay off in the right environment, obviously. But in family, no matter how hard you work, I can't justify it. That's where I get lost. Decisions in life, the decisions that other people make when they impact you. That's why I'm always very wary of what I say and do now. Is because if I impact somebody else's life, they will never forgive me. It will ruin their life or it will mess things up. And that scares me because I've seen the outcome. I have seen the consequences when somebody else makes a bad decision, how it can impact somebody else. So sometimes I want to say just be wary of the decision you make. And on the other side, it's like, dude, it happens. It's called life. People just tag it as it's a life. Well, if it's life, then all right. Well, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow for another conversation. It was nice talking to you. Just you. I hope you're listening. And comment. Tell me how things are going with you. And tell me how we can talk about it. It does help sometimes. All right? Don't forget to smile.